Go to hell.
This review is brought to you by Gamefly. Hello everyone, reviewing a game. Yes, I've been waiting far too long to be able to do this. Splinter Cell Blacklist. Now, the original Splinter Cell in 2002 reignited the stealth genre, which had been dominated up until then by the Metal Gear series, and it continued in a relatively similar vein until 2010's Conviction, which gave the series a necessary revamp to alter the genre that it conflated stealth with slow. Now, despite some of the strong ideas I found in Conviction, I think it fell short of its promise to offer the player dynamic opportunities for playstyle based on a level design that felt too cramped and favored particular paths over others. Now, the newest entry, Blacklist, it comes with similar, if not greater promise, and in one key regard, oh, it truly delivers.
Grim, I'm on the ground, headed towards the down chopper.
Sam,
Level
look
design.
like they're taking heavy
The
ground
key
fight.
to any effective stealth game, especially a contemporary one, is by far the star of the show in Splinter Cell Blacklist. The key is to present varying opportunities for traversal, all the while withholding the potential consequences of your decisions. This formula creates the requisite tension and the nimble power fantasy that keeps the player engaged. And Blacklist is the manifestation of over a decade's worth of experimentation and edification in the genre. Like a Klaus Oldenburg piece, seemingly mundane and obvious locales like a train yard, warehouses lining a port, and a holiday fair are invested with a sense of mystery and threat without turning their architecture novel to suit the mechanics of the game. Stationary train cars provide ground cover and vertical vantage points. Burning barrels provide shadow, but are also inextinguishable light sources. Gingerbread houses take on a malevolence when they offer cover from hostage takers. Perhaps the most clever and one of the most entertaining levels is set in an estate in Paraguay, where the conspicuous indulgences of your target's ill-gotten gains become his undoing.
Man, pull on him! Pull on him!
If I wanted money, I'd break into a bank.
Throughout the game, the stealth opportunities are so well ingrained that the levels happen to facilitate the gameplay instead of advertising its intent. What makes this all the more remarkable is how diverse the traversal opportunities are. Repeated deaths gave me the opportunity to discover not just new paths, but new ways of manipulating geography to my advantage. This is a game where patient attention pays dividends in satisfaction. For a game hell-bent on proving replayability by highlighting different modes of play, this accomplishment is all the more impressive. Ghosting levels, killing everyone in silence, or aggressively taking out enemies is truly feasible, although certain styles are far more challenging in certain scenarios. While overwhelming at first, the upgrade options help you hone and indulge your playstyle, although it does begin to exclude alternate means as you progress. That Blacklist can handle myriad outfit, goggle, and weapon combinations without relinquishing challenge is a marvel of design, and while playing levels, I found myself planning out my second playthrough to take advantage of different approaches. What the design of Blacklist affords is central to creating a compelling stealth title among many other genres, giving the player a sense of ownership over their behavior. With the toolset provided and the sandbox layout of the level, the player creates something of their own through gameplay. They design their own narrative through behavior and not discrete moments of decisions. In this, Splinter Cell ranks with, and at times exceeds, my affection for Dishonored at accomplishing this goal.
Oh shit, Charlie. I think I pulled a red wire. Is that bad?
Some of the gameplay changes incorporated in Conviction are implemented to better effect in Blacklist. The executions are better utilized as a last resort when detected or surrounded, and prove very useful against dogs whose barks instilled terror in me as they sought out Sam by smell. The significantly larger play areas make Sam's increased speed essential to not drag out levels unnecessarily, especially after frequent deaths.
Stay down if you don't want to get hurt.
Alternately, some problems of the new Splinter Cell mechanics are exacerbated. With more dynamic levels, the overuse of the single context-sensitive button resulted in numerous actions that were unintended. The spatial range to trigger doors or claiming can be very narrow, with more than one option in close proximity, making that button press unreliable in effect. Additionally, Takedowns from cover seemed oddly inconsistent, working with a wide berth sometimes and failing when at its most obvious to succeed. It's one thing to replay a level from your own bad decision, but given the time, attention, and care the game asks of the player, such moments are particularly frustrating. And it's frustrating at the worst time possible. The final confrontation, which degrades into a mushy and clumsy quit-time event that took far too many attempts to hone. The story of the campaign is perhaps the most disappointing aspect of Splinter Cell Blacklist. On paper, it's quite compelling. A terrorist organization calling themselves the Engineers attack a U.S. military base in Guam and then threaten weekly attacks on the continent until the United States recalls its international military presence. Circumstances put Sam in charge of 4th Echelon, the super extra legal secret operations team, to circumvent the attacks and learn the terrorists' true intentions. Now, the incorporation of contemporary debates about the U.S.'s role in the world, the distressing threat posed by the game, and the morally murky response portrayed go wholly unexplored. Instead, Blacklist leans on the tried and true daisy chaining of events that exemplify the pedestrian narrative from shows like 24 or Law and Order. This guy gives up this guy who gives up, you get it. The result is a game which is exceptional in the moment, but forgettable and bloodless as a whole. What's curious is how carefully the game avoids chest-beating patriotism and feels oddly extra-national in its treatment. But when a game actually sets a level in Gitmo, gives a sense of the questionable treatment of detainees for background color, it's either a lack of nerve not to engage the debate or it's sheer exploitation.
You are now a detainee of Camp 7, detention facility at Guantanamo Bay. Nod if you understand me.
Blacklist also comes replete with a host of multiplayer options. 2 of them can also be played solo and are exceedingly challenging. One set has you hack 3 terminals in a level without getting caught once, or you play from the beginning. The other requires all hostiles to be neutralized, with the penalty for discovery is introducing more than double the enemies to the challenge. I found it relatively easier to play solo, as adding a teammate doubles the chances of you getting caught. So choose who you play with wisely.
They've raised the alarm. I have to pull the plug on the mission.
Playing alone will trigger aggravation, especially if you attempt the challenges before expanding your loadouts. But success is something of a triumph. Now, a third mode, Splinter Cell's take on Horde mode, fares less well as TDM sets in very quickly. One additional co-op only mode stands out with level design and variety that comes close to the single-player campaign and thoughtfully structures itself both to 2 players and replayability. Blacklist is also the triumphant return of the much-heralded Spies vs. Mercs multiplayer mode. This asymmetrical multiplayer is not only thrillingly fun and engaging, but a desperate respite from the traditional competitive multiplayer that dominates the landscape. Playing as the nimble yet vulnerable spies from the third person, or the armor but slow and sedentary mercs from first person, this return of Spies vs. Mercs not only capitalizes on the brilliant tension, thoughtfulness, and teamwork of the original, but brilliantly expands its capabilities. While the classic 2-on-2 mode is still there, the game offers 4-on-4, a take on Capture the Flag, a reversal of roles where the mercenaries have to hack terminals, as well as the seemingly bad idea of team deathmatch that mixes spies and mercs among the 2 teams, but in the end, it works astonishingly well. Players level up and unlock loadouts, but what maintains engagement, again, is the level design that groups players in small areas, but never seems to exhaust clever opportunities to scuttlebutt the best laid plans. For those desperately in need of something new, this repackaging reinvigorated my interest to play with others. From a design perspective across all its offerings, Splinter Cell Blacklist is near apotheosis, but the skill and design just can't turn wonderful moments of gameplay into a collective experience that lasts with the player due to its flawed narrative. It just can't pull it together. More to admire than to love, a 4 out of 5. There you have it, Splinter Cell Blacklist. Really, it is a game that, especially if you want something that's a little different than what we've had for a lot of the year, it's a strong game that I'm planning to go back to myself. All right, there you have it. Put the comments down below. Also, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, which is Gamefly. And if you don't have hundreds or even thousands of dollars to spend on video games, because very few of us do, then give GameFly a shot. GameFly is the largest online video game rental service in the world, with over 8,000 games, new and classic, across all consoles and handhelds. With plans starting at just $15.95 a month, GameFly members can rent 1 to 4 games at a time and keep them for as long as they like. There are no late fees, no due dates, and shipping is always free. Once you're done playing a game, send it back and GameFly will send you the next available game on your list. If you really like the game you're playing, simply click Keep It on the GameFly website and the game is yours at a discounted price. GameFly will even mail you the case and manuals free of charge. GameFly members can also play hundreds of PC games for free with their unlimited PC Play plan. Check out how to get some games you haven't played yet and help out Rev3 Games with a 15-day free trial at gamefly.com/Rev3Games.